Joe Biden makes epic move on guns. Now this is ridiculous. They doing everything they can to take away our rights, our gun rights. But yet at the same time, they want to send weapons and send guns to Ukraine and Israel. This is total ridiculousness. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news here. The United States has imposed a 90-day suspension on most civilian firearm exports due to concerns about national security. Mind you, our border is wide open. We are literally being invaded from other countries, terrorists getting in and all types of stuff, but they're worried about us shipping guns overseas while our border is wide open. This makes no sense. But civilian license applications will not be processed during this period. To assess the potential risks of firearms diversion to activities promoting regional instability, human rights violations, or criminal activities, the U.S. Department of Commerce will restrict the issuance of civilian export licenses. But it's okay for our government to ship weapons, of course, overseas. Our government is the main ones that's shipping weapons overseas, which makes no sense. But countries with separate export agreements like Israel, of course, and Ukraine are exempt from this ban because we want to keep funding the murder of innocent people. So, of course, Israel going to get their weapons, and so will Ukraine. And around 40 countries, including Israel and Ukraine, are not affected by this ban due to their separate export agreements for firearms. And government clients must specify the intended recipients of firearms, and applications lacking explicit names will be returned. So if you got a uncle overseas, you want to send him a couple firearms so he can protect himself overseas, you will be banned from doing so. But the government will send Israel more weapons so they can complete their genocide of Palestinian people. Over 5,000 children being murdered has been known to be murdered as of right now, and probably more. That's okay. That's fine. But if you want to send your uncle that's in Germany a gun, you can't do it. And U.S. firearm companies like Sturm, Roger & Co., Vista Outdoor, and Smith & Wesson brands may be impacted by this suspension, of course. Calls for national gun confiscation has arisen among Democrats following a recent mass shooting in Maine. The shooter, an Army reservist, exhibited signs of mental illness and had interactions with the police. And family members informed federal investigators that he had discussed hearing voices recently. And despite concerns about his behavior in mid-July, no measures were taken to prevent him from legally owning a firearm. The root issue lies in the inadequate enforcement of existing gun laws, which result in mass shootings and calls for gun control, and banning so-called assault weapons, which, again, I hate that term. Anything can be considered an assault weapon. You can turn a fork into an assault weapon. But anyway, is deemed ineffective as handguns are more commonly involved in gun-related crimes, and they don't tell you that. And the Biden administration is advocating for new bans on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. And Vice President Kamala Harris has consistently called for a ban on assault weapons, emphasizing the need for reasonable gun safety laws, which we already have. Enforce the laws that's already on the books. The most effective solution for saving lives involves abolishing gun-free zones and implementing universal recognition of concealed carry licenses. These measures will not only save lives, but also have a positive impact on the United States. And we got studies to show this, but of course they would ignore those studies. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.